I just knew that I'm going to quit my job and do energy work for the rest of my life. It was like, really? And I said, yeah. And intention and awareness of your body and the breath. That gives you a framework to be more effective in what you are doing. Because
you are a doctor of public health, registered nurse, and with more than 15 years of experience in healthcare and the public health fields, especially in the areas of addiction to substances and mental health disorders, as well as behavioral health issues. You have an intimate understanding with the body's powerful ability to heal itself from personal experience and from practice.
I started with energy healing back in 2009.
Okay.
At that time, I didn't know anything about energy work at all, and I just was using my heart, and I felt a lot of compassion for the client, the patient that I was working in back in nursing school at that time. Then everybody kept going back to my instructor and complimented her for assigning me to them. Mm-hmm. And they said that whenever I am working on them and then something happened and they feel really good afterwards. Then one day my instructor pulled me aside and shared that with me. She informed me that there is a specialty in nursing they call healing touch, that there is a modality and nurses can specialize themselves in that. If I'm interested, she can guide me. And I'm like, I'm not sure. I don't know if I want, to specialize myself. I didn't do anything special. And she said that everybody said something about your hand. And there was some kind of energy, there's some kind of well-being they receive after you touch them. Mm-hmm. And I said, oh, okay, I'll think about it, but I don't think I'm interested for now. Then I went my way and thought about it several times, but didn't really give a lot of thoughts on that. But knowing that I have that ability, I kept using it for friends, family members, or on myself. Mm-hmm. Then I keep moving. Throughout the years, I keep doing the same thing, but without any kind. I didn't even read about it. Mm. But I have done other, spiritual study and started developing a greater understanding of what energy is and life force energy and everything and how we can use it to improve our health. Then I started to be more guided in my practice and what I was doing at the time. Then fast forward, I was, I graduated from my doctorate degree. I always want to learn something. Mm-hmm. And I said, what would be my next thing? Because I have done a lot of things in public health, in the healthcare industry, but I would want to direct my skills to more, alternative modalities, things that are not really conventional. I want to be more feel that I have a good background in that. Mm-hmm. And started to, peruse the internet, browse the internet, and was looking at the program massage therapy, and I see the word quantum touch, the term quantum touch. And I was like, what is that? It's the first time that I heard something about quantum touch and massage. I didn't know exactly what it was. Mm-hmm. I Googled it immediately. And when I Googled and quantum touch show up, the website show up. And I started reading, I was so excited and curious about seeing exactly what it was. When I saw the description, and I said, this is exactly what I was looking for. Now I know that I'm going to get certified in that thing. Mm-hmm. I didn't, waste time. The instructor that I identified at that time was giving a class, was Meredith, yeah. And I texted Meredith and emailed her, and she replied, and the rest is history. Mm-hmm. I went full speed booking my workshops one after the other and get the most that I can get, and started practicing since the first session to get certified. And then, I feel like it was what I needed to complete everything that I learned over the years. Yeah, this is how I started with Quantum Touch.
Wow, beautiful. So how does Quantum Touch compare to what you were naturally doing?
Quantum Touch, there's something about being aware of your body and directed, the intention, I would say, intention and awareness of your body and the breath. That give you set up a framework for you to be more effective in what you are doing. Because, sometimes I will put my hand over anybody's head or things, and I will keep asking myself at that time, I remember, am I doing the right thing? Is it going to be really what I'm supposed to, the result that I'm expecting? But with Quantum Touch, I have some kind of guideline. There's a guideline. I know that intention, your love, and everything is set out, and the healer will decide what to do.
Absolutely. And I think that's what I loved about Quantum Touch too, is it's so natural, right? Think about if you're walking and you tripped and you scraped your knee. You're instinctively going to put your hands on your knee. You might gag, you're like, right? You're bringing in that breath, and like you have that intention that you want it to be better. So, I mean, we naturally do it. And then, when you take those three things, your breath, your intention, and then your body awareness, and you put it all together, it is powerful.
My first session, right at the beginning, and I started feeling the energy pulsing in my finger. And I was like, oh, I feel it. And it kept, moving, the energy kept moving. Then I really enjoyed the training. And then I did practice, and I was confident. Day one, I was confident that I could have done it. There wasn't any doubt, any question, anything, that I feel like it was something natural to me. By the second session, I feel like I was a pro. I need to just breathe, be aware of my body, direct my intention, and keep, using the feelings of love. Offering the kind of love that my client, or at that time, I would say my classmates, because we were working pairing in the training and doing the thing. Then I know, like, usually I'm going to use Rene Morris a concept like second sight. I can, I've been blessed with that. And with Quantum Touch, I was able to, it was really powerful what I could feel in my body and what I can sense or see. Then I can say that with Quantum Touch, my disability was potential, was enhanced. Then that was my experience starting.
So were you able to feel the energy before the energy awareness exercise with the finger?
I put my finger like this, and I felt my finger was pulsing. I didn't understand the concept of feeling the energy in your body, but I used to feel energy. Sometimes I will feel like energy was pulsing in my hands even before Quantum Touch. I used to experience it, but I didn't have the concept of, I didn't understand the concept of feeling it.
I remember as a kid, we would always go like this. And then you feel your hands in, right?
Yes.
So I think that was really my only experience going in, because I didn't have an awareness or idea of energy before my workshop either. So when you do that finger exercise and then you start to feel the energy going through your finger, that was very powerful.
Yeah. What Quantum Touch did for me, give me a structure. I was able to get a structure to organize everything that I learned about energy and everything I learned about spirituality. Then I connect the dots and was able to be more aware of what was happening.
Now, when you were talking about the second sights, that came with me too. The more I run the energy, the more I become aware of what's around. And I hear that more from other people who practice quantum touch. So how did that develop for you? Did you have a sense of that before you would run the energy?
Back in my childhood, I would see, I would feel, and I would hear things. And I grew up like this. It's something natural. I do not really have to do anything special for that to happen. I grew up with it. Being, even in my adulthood, it's the same thing. It's something that happened. I do not have to do any kind of ritual or anything for that to happen. It's there. And whenever I put myself in the situation to connect, and it is there. But even when I'm not thinking about anything, even when I'm not thinking about doing any kind of energy work, that could happen, that I receive a message or something come to me, or a family member, I feel connected to someone, or it's something that I get.
Now, since I've learned quantum touch and I know how to raise my vibration with the techniques, and I become aware of that kind of extrasensory information, I can see how in my past I was aware of it. I just didn't realize it.
Yeah, sometimes we take for granted or things that we don't pay attention for, and it's only later in life that we start understanding exactly what happened or what was happening. But in my case, I was very conscious of that ability, I was very conscious of it. But the energy thing, I was not. I knew that there was something, but I didn't know. I couldn't really put a word on it.
So now that you are a practitioner and you use the energy more and you're running the techniques and working with clients, what kind of shifts have you noticed in your life?
There is a lot of shift. A lot of things are shifted. I know exactly the big shift that happened. In November, there was a big opportunity at my job at that time. I was managing a program for the state of Maine, and there was a big opportunity for promotion. I applied, but I was like, people around me was expecting me to apply because it was the next thing for me to do, and I felt pressure to do it. But deep inside, I knew that I'm not going to stick to doing that job anymore. Then I was attending a workshop with Tyler at that time, and I was offered an interview that day in the class. And I said, Tyler, you know what? I just knew that I'm going to quit my job and do energy work for the rest of my life. He was like, really? And I said, yeah. I said, I just declined a big opportunity. And I think that from now, I'm going to keep moving and stick with energy work and do, anything alternative, but the conventional things that I was doing.
Wow.
Then that was a big shift because I'm trained as public health scientist. I hold a good position and it's stable. I've been with the state for 8 years. Then there is more opportunity come up, and I feel like, I don't want to do that anymore. And I knew that it wasn't the right thing for me to do. I suffered from that day until I resigned. I suffer every day when I have to sit into meeting because things do not make any sense for me anymore. Yes. And I said, I need to go with my heart, doing energy work and health coaching and everything part-time. And I said, no, it's going to be full-time now. Then I left, I quit. I quit it and with no, emotion, anything, because I know that it's done. I'm done doing that. I'm moving to the next chapter. Yeah, that was a big shift.
Wow. That is a big shift.
Yeah.
And I think it's really interesting because you worked in public health.
Yeah. That was a big shift.
And with nursing, what kind of nursing did you do?
I did education.
Okay.
And also I did community nursing, like visiting nurse and going to people's house and, do assessment and take care of them and things like this. I did that.
Yeah.
Then said to myself, yeah, I like to take care of people, but I think that there is something missing because when I'm giving med to patients, I provide them with some relief, but there are other things coming up afterward that I am not able, I feel like powerless. I cannot do anything. And also, for some people, most importantly, is spending many years developing programs for people with addiction to address addiction among people. I think that there is a link missing. And I think that the amount of stress that people are under, and the amount of stress that lead them to use or to relapse, it's not addressed. I didn't intend to stay in the field and keep challenging the state or the program or my fellow public health practitioners. Wasn't my intention at all. And I said, let me do something differently.
So how do you plan to use Quantum Touch moving forward?
Yeah, I'm using Quantum Touch, combining my background as a nurse, health coach, and integrative nutrition counselor to help people relieve stress and coach them and help them understand how to eat properly, how to relieve stress, how to manage the disease and everything. Now, more service oriented than public health oriented, the way I used to do it before. In my community, when I said my community, I'm originally from Haiti. Integrative health is a concept that is not really popular among my community. And I'm trying to take that approach to use Quantum Touch and use nutrition, use my knowledge of disease process and nursing process, everything to package that and help them. I start doing, some progress, but it will take time. And I'm willing to put the effort, the education to implement some kind of population-based activities with that. I explained Quantum Touch. I had participated in 3 radio shows already, explaining what my work with Quantum Touch looks like to my community. And people are very curious about it, but they are also reserved about it. But I keep, educating. Now I have people asking me questions or sending email or calling me and wanted to understand. And some have even booked sessions and yeah.
I think your background is very helpful.
Yeah, it's very helpful, but it's very challenging too, because what people are really familiar with, acquainted with, it's the conventional language that you have. You come, you talk about disease, you come about medication, talk about healing and everything, treatment and everything. That is fine. When you start talking about energy, what energy has to do with my disease or my healing? And because people start looking at you like you are weird, a weirdo, why you have to talk? Are you some kind of a voodoo priestess? Like people back home, they will ask me, why you have to use your hand to help me heal? Why you don't give me medication? Why is that? There is a lot of why? And with my background, I use the word treatment. With Quantum Touch, I cannot use that treatment. I have to use therapy. Then talk about therapy. The person says, oh, I'm not crazy, because they think that people who need therapy is reserved for psychological or psychiatric thing. Then I need to explain that. And I really need to find the appropriate words in order for me to convey my message and meet people where they are and help them understand the message. But in my culture, it serves better to use the concept energy, because energy, people understand what energy is. So we have a great awareness of spiritual and mystical things. People are very aware. It's something that is part of our culture. And the difficulty they have is to understand how all that tied with the conventional medicine. Yeah, it's where the issue is. But if I were, for instance, going to them and said that I was a voodoo priestess, everybody would be okay. That's okay with us because they understand that. But tying that with the conventional medicine, that doesn't make any sense. You need to explain how that complement happened. Yeah.
For a long time, I was, I guess, struggling with how to explain it to people. And then I decided that that's just not the right mindset. You just run the energy and you just be the example, and people will understand when they're ready to understand too. Right? Like I don't need to convince people of it. Simply offer what I have to offer. And then if it resonates with them, they'll feel that.
Yeah. What I found really useful, the energy work that I am doing is this natural thing. There is nothing magic about it. It's our own body. Our body is formed of the same elements, the same matter that is in the universe. With that, we can resonate with whatever is happening, whatever essence is present in the universe is present also in our body and is around us. We are surrounded by energy, and energy like bring vibrations, and a bunch of vibration produce frequencies. Then what I'm doing when I'm running energy on you is to use that same energy that in the cosmic, that is surrounding us, that is in our body, to use it and help your body raise its own frequency. When I said that, explained it that way, and people, oh, okay, that is understandable. And I said, just breathe. If you breathe, you keep being aware of your body, and you will feel like tingling, and you will feel like some kind of excitement or pulsating feeling. And that is the life force energy being raised in your body. Oh, okay. Because when I doing my session, some people who are very sensitive, they can feel like some tingling, or people can see, oh, I feel like there is some goosebump coming in my body. What is that? Some people may feel, and some other they do not feel anything. Then if I said that you're going to feel, and the person didn't feel anything, said, oh, you lied to me or anything, but depends on their experience, I explain afterward.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way of explaining it.
You know, I noticed that people who are suspicious or skeptical about the process, even when the book is session with me, by the fact that they are skeptical and they don't fully, open themselves to accept, to participate in the process and to receive, and they create some kind of shield, and it's more difficult for them to experience energy healing than those who are willing to be or curious to know, to understand exactly what is happening.
Yeah. And I mean, that really goes back to their intentions. And I noticed that too. If the client comes and they're like, this is going to work, and they have that clear intention of what their life's going to be like afterwards, they're going to create it. But if they come and they're like, well, I don't know, it might work. Well, then they're right. It might work.
Yeah. And some people, they do not even say that it might work. They just say, sit and be really observant and skeptical about everything. And body language is telling you that I don't think so. I don't think there is nothing happening. And it's challenging.
When somebody comes to you and they say, how many sessions is it going to take? How do you answer that one?
I also use technology because I'm allowed to do it because of my background. I can scan people. The way I proceed when I get a client, I do some kind of scanning. I ask the person to provide me with all the labs, recent labs and diagnosis and everything for me to get an understanding of exactly what the person is coming with. Then I identify everything that is going on in the person's system energetically. Then I do some kind of analysis, comparative analysis between what I found in the scanning system and what the labs result were telling me. After that, I'm able to develop some kind of plan, therapy plan for the person. But I always insist for the person to keep taking their med because I don't want them to think that I'm going to do miracle or everything. And I don't use that word. You do what you have to do with your doctor, and I'm going to support you and help you speed up the process. I have 6-week session because I don't think that no one, if I'm addressing a specific kind of a disease, I know the process. Some people responded the first session, they start responding, but that doesn't mean everything is okay. Then by the 4th sessions, people who are really cooperating and people who have a positive mind, you start seeing a big difference. By the time for the 6 weeks, and some of them are in good shape and ready to go to the next phase. But I set up 6 weeks for someone to be.
That's interesting. So do you get follow-up on their labs? Are you able to see the changes?
Oh, yeah, I follow up on that. And so, for some people, they keep coming back after the 6 weeks, the first phase. I recommend them to go back and see their primary care and do the lab. We get results and see where we are. And what kind of progress have been made. And if they are willing, if we have to go to the second phase. I can tell you, I have someone who had liver enzymes elevated, very elevated when she got to me. And we set up 6-week plan, but twice a week, I see that person twice a week for 12 sessions. And after the 12 sessions, but I also pair that with the nutrition part because energy work is best when your body, the environment, or your body, is ready to receive, has when the cells are healthy and they are capable of receiving energy. Then after the 12 sessions, the person go back to the primary care and get tested again. Guess what? The enzyme were cut by 60%.
Wow.
Goes down by 60%. And the primary care, the specialist, it wasn't the primary care. He was so happy about that. And we're asking her, what did she do? But she didn't explain. She didn't want to explain to her. And then we worked for 6 more weeks, 12 more sessions, and everything get back to the initial number. Then that is one of way for me to tell you exactly how I proceed, but I have other cases. I have other,
That's really cool to have kind of like the before and the after and actually be able to see the difference. Because I think one of the other things I love about quantum touch is it is so natural. So the change can feel very natural, and then you can forget how bad you felt. So I think a lot of people will say, well, it didn't work or I don't notice anything. But I'm like, but that's a good thing because now you don't notice those issues that you had.
Yes. Because I didn't want to work on a blinded manner because of the background that I have. I use it. I approach it in a way, develop some kind of program for people to understand that both aspects are very important. And for me to find a concrete way, to document the effectiveness of what I am doing. I have planned to collect as much data as I can on certain cases that I work on, and later publish case studies or everything. Then this is what I'm thinking and where my, my head is,
Well, absolutely,
going.
because then
Yes.
it'll be obvious to people, or I
Yes.
shouldn't say obvious, it'd be easy for people to understand.
Yes, when I left my job, I'm still doing things that can benefit public health. When I left my job, my colleagues, they were like gentle. They didn't say anything, but some of them was really questioning. You can see the way they were looking at me and said, "Oh my God, she has all that experience and knowledge, and she's going to waste it and not doing anything with it." But in my heart, I said that I'm going to take it to somewhere else. Because the lack of study to document what we are doing is blatant. And the resources out there are not really available to health scientists who are interested in publishing, or energy healers, workers who are interested in documenting their work to do anything. But people keep saying the same thing. Oh, there is not a lot of evidence for that, blah, 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 but the resources are not there. I'm not going to change that, but I can do what I can do in my practice to just contribute in some way, to some extent. That's my intention.
Well, absolutely, because you have the access to all the evidence.
Yes.
You have the results.
All of us have, because we have a way to document, paperwork to document our sessions. Then we have a way to get feedback from people. We can document that when we are working with clients. And those are data. Those are raw data that we are collecting. We are sitting on a wealth of data.
You're right.
It's a matter for us to understand how to organize them. And how to work with them and to have something to offer to the world.
So for myself, I will ask my clients, how do you feel? What are your top 3 concerns? Rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. How can I start a session with a client or do like the pre-work so that I can gather the data needed to make it useful data?
Reading the pen, the scale that you have, that information, pre, post, or 1 month after, or anything that can give you, data. That can give you some data. And also you can look for qualitative data too. Before the session, you have a interview with the person to describe exactly how he or she is feeling, where is the pen is located, if it is pen, or where is how you've been doing with that specific disease, or if someone coming, for instance, with fibromyalgia, if the person cannot sleep, the person is tired all the time. Those are questions that we can ask. You collect information before and after. Collect, and you can follow up with that client. But the client, it's 1 session is not going to be enough for you to do that. At least 4 sessions will give you enough time to collect more data. If the person is committed to have more than that, to see you on the longer term, it could be a case study with 1 client. You can have a case study with 1 client.
It might be helpful if you did a little workshop on teaching us how to collect the data or create a case study, because there's practitioners all across the world with incredible stories. And if we can somehow bring these stories together in a way that is done properly, I think that would be really exciting.
Yeah, there is an opportunity right there, because in my experience, I was also an evaluator. Then I evaluate program. In my, years of experience, I have to do that too. And data, I'm very familiar with data collection, data analysis, and things like this. I intend to use them. That would be, and also success story. I manage a program for the tobacco prevention and program for the state of Maine for several years. And I work closely with CDC, and I was very involved in working with a big grant that they provided. Success story was something very big. Then there is an opportunity for us to share what we are doing.
Well, and I think a lot of practitioners are just scared that they're going to say something that's outside of their bounds, right?
There is that too. I'm very cautious about what I'm saying and when I'm saying it. I just finished working with a client. He has boils, those pimples that you see coming in your, and that become a big deal. She couldn't find any kind of relief with it. And it's been 3 years, infected and very, very bad and malodorous and everything. Then I had to work with her and on my approach on energy work, nutrition, and everything. Now that the issue is solved, she's healed now. I want to refer her to a specialist in infectious disease in order for her to be seen and to have some kind of follow-up. While I was drafting the referral, I had to be really cautious in how I phrase my words because it's a real issue. We cannot use any term that we want. We need to be really careful about what we are using. But that shouldn't prevent us from having a voice. We need to have a voice.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
We are contributing in the well-being of people. We are contributing in public health. What we are doing is a contribution to public health. We are helping, and we want to make the population better. We need to be able to express what we have to express and share our work. We need to have the audacity to go for it. I'm looking for that audacity, and I feel like it's coming.
Oh, I think so too.
Yes.
And I think maybe that is just a vibration in itself, right? Because I keep thinking about it, and I'm just going to breathe and sweep, and we'll just rise above that fear.
Yeah, that's true. I thank you very much for giving me that opportunity. I'm very reserved, but I'm not afraid of talking. It's a matter for me to find the audacity and find the right spot and the right moment for me to do it. But I know that I can, but I don't know where exactly I should do it. And when I should do it, that is the problem.
That's what I feel too. And that's why I just set the intentions that it's going to come, right? And when I see it, I will recognize it and I will go for it, and I'll be able to do it in a way that is going to better serve everybody. And I just keep that intention, right?
Yes. And I need to find the courage. We need courage and audacity to share what we have to share, because it's important. There are people out there who would want to know, who would want to learn, who would want to benefit from that. Then our fear is nothing compared to the good that we can do to humanity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good conversation.
Yeah. Bye.
Exciting.